You can pull the axle out of a Ford 9-inch rear end without touching any of the brakes or backing plate or anything. You got the 4 bolts through there. You use the window to get your 3/4 inch socket. Break the nuts free. One, two, three, four. There we go. Now I've got the axle out. The loaded brake drum comes off as an assembly. I don't have to take it apart. I do not have the parking brake in this one yet, but that wouldn't matter. The parking brake cable will come off with the drum. Now I can put my new seal here. I've already got my new oil seal inside there. Put the backing plate back on, put the axle back in, button it up. By the way, that seal is a Fail Pro 55036. These painted stripes are going to go on the outside. You'll see here's this little bit of a flange. That's what's going to tuck inside the axle housing. And then this ring is what's going to get compressed by the backing plate. So there we go. Put my loaded drum back on here. Stick the axle back in there. I've got my new bearing and retainer on here. Find its way in the differential. And there it goes. Tighten up the nuts and she's ready to go. And if you want some part numbers for doing any of this stuff, let's say you're not messing with your brakes, I just went to O'Reilly's. This is a big bearing, so this is a 76 Bronco. The big axle bearing is about 3 1/8 inches in diameter, outside to outside. This was a Precision 514003. I got a National Seal 51098 or Precision 51098, same number. And these are the 1/2 inch studs with 3/4 inch nut. So this is getting roughly 50 foot-pounds of torque. If this were a passenger car and you got the 3/8, those are going to get like 25 to 30 foot-pounds. One of the reasons you might want to do this job, if that seal has gone bad on the inside, then that gear oil can come through and mix with the grease of the bearing, turn it into a sludge, and ruin that bearing with haste. If you're dripping and losing oil from somewhere in your differential, it's probably not happening at this axle seal. Probably going to be the pinion or even the housing gasket, but more than likely the pinion. Just do a visual inspection. If you get a bunch of stuff dripping down on your wheels and tires, or it looks really oily around the drum. If it's not brake fluid from a bad wheel cylinder, then this is a pretty simple job to pull the drum off, zip off those 4 nuts, and pop this axle out to put new seals in.